Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to implement a player list. The key feature of this implementation will be the cross-platform nature of this solution and its versatility. In simple terms, everything will work on all other online subsystems. The ability to kick players will also be implemented. Also, in this implementation, my attention was focused on the performance and optimization of this solution, especially widgets. So, let's get started. The first thing we'll start with is a small game instance setting. This will be useful for handling some exceptional situations, but it has nothing to do with the player list. The main idea is to destroy the session and move to the main menu when any network or travel error occurs. One clear example is when the host leaves the game and the client crashes to the main menu, but without the ability to create or join a session because the previous session was not terminated correctly. Thus, by successfully destroying the session and moving to the main menu when such errors occur, we ensure a way out of such exceptional situations. So let's move on to setting up the player card widget. To do this, we'll create a widget and set up its visual. Let's create a variable with the player state type, into which we will further receive data when updating the list of players, and this card will be filled with this data and updated. Let's set the state and visibility of the buttons, depending on our status, whether we are a server or not, whether we are the same player or not.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
The player's nickname will be set. That's good, but what if the nickname is too long? Then it will fill the entire widget and the other elements will not be visible. I can offer two solutions to this problem. The first solution will be to wrap the text in a scale box. Then it will adjust the size of the text block and reduce it depending on the length. You can see an example of how this solution works on the screen. The second solution is to limit the number of characters in the nickname. You can also see the solution on the screen, and I will use it. We simply specify the maximum allowable number of characters, and it will give us this.
And
So now we will implement the logic of updating the player card data. It will be executed by a timer, cyclically, every 5 seconds, executing the update player info function.
And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see
I will simply copy the code from the event construct for updating the ping into the function.
grow in number, fueled by them to see the
And it seems that everything is done, but there is one notable detail that we simply update the ping and nothing more. But what if the player somehow updates his nickname, and we do not know about it, and it will be important for us? Of course, this may be unnecessary, but now on the screen you will see the implementation of the nickname update logic. Maybe you will need it or maybe not. So, updating the player's nickname is an optional thing, but I personally disabled it. I forgot to include the character limitation for the nickname. So if you want to update a player's nickname, it will look something like this. I mentioned the character limitation earlier. Now, a small part of optimization related to the visibility of this widget. The point is that the player card will not be updated when the widget is hidden. Later in the implementation of the logic, you will see a general connection with this. Now let's implement the logic for kicking the player. I'll do this using an interface. Create a kick the player interface function. Implement the interface in the player controller with a reliable client RPC event for kicking the player, which when called will destroy the player session and send him to the main menu. Okay, now we'll work on the player list widget.
gravity pull and it keeps me awake. I would rather be here, lonely in space. I've made up my mind, I just wanna be free. I live my own life in a new galaxy. I wanna be weightless in the silence of the night sky. I wanna free fall into nothing at all.
I implemented the update of the player list as follows. When the widget opens, we have our own variable player list, which is also an array of player states. First, the function checks whether the variable is empty, or in another way, this operation can be called a check for the first launch of the widget. If it is empty, then the timer for updating the player list is paused, by the way. The timer will be implemented a little later, and an array of players is taken from the game state and written to our variable player list. And then, using a loop and checking the validity of each element, a widget of the player cards of this element is created and a small offset is set. I did this for beauty. While conducting some tests, I found that with a high ping or bad internet, there may be a delay in accessing the game state, which leads to an error, so I checked the game state for validity using retriggerable delay. Now let's analyze the path when our variable is not empty. Then it is compared with the variable from game state for identity. And if they are similar, then nothing happens. And if not, then almost the same process occurs that I described above. By the way, this is where I cache the player's array from the game state into my variable, because this gives a boost. Look at the meme, and you will understand everything.
I'm better off without you. I wanna be weightless in the silence of the night sky. I wanna free fall into nothing at all. I'm taking the moment, starting all over. I wanna be free and live my own life in a new galaxy.
Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it go away?
Now let's set up the player controller. In it, we implement the BPI player controller interface with a kick the player interface function, as well as create a widget. Let me explain how the player kick logic works. When the kick, the player interface function is called, a reliable client RPC event will be inside the implementation of this function. A reliable RPC is important here because it will guarantee that important logic will be executed and not lost. So, why a client RPC? We need a specific client, the owner of the corresponding player controller, to execute the player kick logic. Since there is no default player kick logic in blueprints, we write it ourselves. Before that, we also fulfill the client RPC condition by checking whether we are on the server before calling the interface function in the widget, using the isServer pure function. That's it. By the way, if you are doing this for split-screen multiplayer, then use the Add to Player Screen node, so you will add the widget to the screen of a specific player. Okay, now let's test this in the editor with Online Subsystem Null, and then in the packed game with Online Subsystem Steam.
They'll be calling me royalty. Oh, I don't know.
And everything works perfectly. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. See you soon.